Hello and welcome to this first series of click-by-click tutorials on using Excel 2010. In this series of videos you'll learn some of the basic techniques to get you started in using Excel. If you want to practice the techniques that are shown in these videos, you can download the exercise files along with the written instructions from our website at www.wizzybooks.com. In this video we're going to have a look at command shortcuts. But just before we get started, let's talk a little bit about terminology. Up in the ribbon are all the tools that we'll be using when we're creating our spreadsheets. And these tools are arranged in groups. But sometimes these tools are referred to as controls or commands. In spreadsheet terms, tools, controls or commands all mean the same thing. It refers to the little buttons in the ribbon that you click on to make something happen. But we don't have to use the mouse to activate these tools. Command shortcuts allows us to activate any tools in the ribbon simply by using the keyboard. So let's have a look at how this works. Let's concentrate on the clipboard tool group. This contains tools for cut, copy and paste. And if we look at this example, there's the cut, there's the copy, and there's the paste, but the paste at the moment is not active. It's all greyed out. And that's because we haven't yet copied anything to be able to paste it. But as soon as we've copied something, this tool will become active. So how do we activate these tools without using the mouse? Well, we use something called command shortcuts, or keyboard shortcuts. And I know that the keyboard shortcut for copy is Control and C. That's to say you hold down the Control key on your keyboard, which is normally located in the bottom left hand corner of your keyboard. And while you're holding down the Control key, you press the C key, and that will then copy the selected item. But how do I know that keyboard combination? Well, Excel told me. If I hover my mouse over the copy tool, you'll see the little tool text box appear underneath, and in this case it says copy and in brackets Control plus C. So that tells me that the shortcut for the copy tool is Control C. What about paste? Let's just hover the mouse over paste, and there's the tooltip, pops up and says paste Control V. Now you might think, why V? Well, P is reserved for print, so Control P will activate the print dialog box. So, Control C to copy, Control B to paste. So let's have a look at how this works. I've selected cell B2 in my worksheet, and it just contains some text, data bars. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this text and paste it into cell B12. But I'm going to do it all without using the mouse. So I'll park my mouse here, and with my cell B2 selected, I'll hold down the Control key on the keyboard and press the C key. And when I do, you can see that cell B2 has become highlighted. It's got a little flashing bar all the way around it. These are sometimes referred to as walking ants. And notice now also that I've copied something. My paste tool is full of colour, so it's active. So I'm going to come down into my worksheet and I'm going to click in cell B12. So that now highlights the cell, but you can still see in cell B2 that those walking ants are still surrounding that cell. Okay, now I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Control and V. And when I do, the text that I copied is pasted into cell B12. B2, however, is still flashing, so it's still retained in computer memory, so I could, if I wanted to at this point, go to another cell and paste that same information into a different cell. I've finished with the copy and paste at this point, so I'm going to press Escape on the keyboard, and when I do, the walking ants disappear, and now you'll notice that my paste option has become grey again, so it's now not available. We can use keyboard shortcuts for a lot of the tools that are in the ribbon, but not every tool has a keyboard shortcut. Let's have a look at this one. This is bold, and this does have a keyboard shortcut. Bold is Control plus B, so I'd hold the Control key down and press the B button. And the bold tool is a bit like an on-off switch. So let's select cell C3 containing the number 20, and I'll use the keyboard shortcut Control B to make that 20 bold. Control B, and there you have it. The numbers become bold, and you'll also notice that the tool itself has turned orange, signifying that the bold option is switched on. If I want to turn the bold off, I simply press the keys again, so Control and B will switch the bold off, so it's no longer orange and the text in the cell is no longer bold. A number of tools in the ribbon act in this way, a bit like an on-off switch. Some tools, like the alignment tools for example, they don't have shortcut keys, and some of the other tools, the percentage format, that uses 3 keys on the keyboard. So to get percentage I would have to hold down the Control key plus Shift plus the percentage sign. So 3 keys to activate that tool. You might want to spend a couple of minutes just hovering your mouse over the tools and seeing which ones have keyboard shortcuts and which ones don't. When Microsoft released the Office 2007 suite, they replaced the menus and toolbars with the ribbon. But they also included an additional feature that takes keyboard shortcuts to a new level. And these are key tips. Let's see how key tips work. I've got the ribbon at the top, and I'm going to press the Alt button on the keyboard, which is normally in the bottom left of your keyboard, about 3 keys in. And if I press the Alt key, you'll see some letters appear along the ribbon, and each of the letters is the key tip to open up the different ribbon tabs. We're on the Home ribbon at the moment, and the key tip letter for that is H. Let's just have a look at the Formula ribbon. Underneath that the key tip is M, so if I press M on my keyboard, you can see that the ribbon changes to the Formula ribbon, and now each of the tools in that ribbon has a letter, so I can go ahead and press the letter of any of those keys to activate them. Right in the corner here we've got the Insert Function control, and the key tip for that is F. So if I now press F on the keyboard, the Insert Function dialog box will open. Let's just close that one down and go back to the Home ribbon. So let's see how this works. I'm going to use the key tips to insert some word art into this worksheet. So the first thing I'll do is I'll press the Alt key to bring up the key tip badges, and you'll notice that the Insert tab has got the letter N. So I'm going to press N on the keyboard, and that opens up the Insert ribbon. Again, each of the tools have got their own letter, and if we look over here we can see that word art is represented by the letter W. So I'm going to press W on the keyboard, and when I do, the different styles for the word art will open. Now I can simply use my cursor keys on my keyboard to come down and to the right, and we'll select that shiny red format. I'll press Enter on the keyboard, and my word art's inserted. All I need to do now is to type in some text, so let's do that. So we've typed in some text, and now if I click away from the word art, that word art's been inserted into the spreadsheet. So that's how we can use Excel without relying too much on our mouse, keyboard shortcuts or key tips.